I've squared all of my pieces. Here's my 3 long pieces and my 4 shorter pieces, and there's my 2 mullions. The only thing I don't have yet here is my center panel. I'll do that later. This layout here is the same as this drawing, right? So I've got my 2 posts with the aprons there and the aprons there. This joint is a dowel joint. These joints will be screws and plugs, and I want to walk you through that. Before I do that, I'm going to mark what each of these is. My posts are already marked. That's my left front, left back, right front. So let's label these also. This one is going to be the top front. It's 3/4 thick. This one is going to be the top back. This one is 13/16 thick because it's combined with the modesty panel. We're going to glue it all together as a unit, sand it down to 3/4. This one is the bottom back. It's going to sit underneath this one. This will be my top left. This one is my bottom left. It's going to go between 2 legs underneath. Okay, here's my top right. And this is my bottom right. Now, if I mix all these up, no worries. I can lay them out again to what I want. So let's talk first about this joint right here where apron meets post, or where the bottom stretcher meets a leg. This is going to be a dowel joint. And it wants to go right in the center like this. The first thing we do is make lines where we want the dowels. And it doesn't have to, there's no exact locations. We're just going to go towards the edges. And I'm going to draw a line on my apron with this square. We're going to cut dowel holes out for that. And then we'll use a device that goes in there to mark where it goes on the post. First, let's cut this on the doweling machine. I line up that line with the line on the back of the fence. Keep your hands out of that thing. On button. Press the pedal. So nice. Just like that. So we use what's called a dowel center. They're little devices that get put in those holes, and they have a point to mark where they go. So I'm going to line this up with my leg, just like this, and press in. However, before I do this, I'm going to get on a more flat surface, like on a table saw, where, right, because there's all kinds of glue and stuff on this table. I'm going to walk over to the table saw, and let's do it there. Now this is a nice flat surface. It's going to go like this, and I'm going to measure this so I get it centered properly. That's right where I want it. And I just press it, and it leaves a dimple. See it there and there. And I think I'll mark it with a pen so that I can see it a little bit better. That's the exact same. Now we got to drill those out, not on the doweling machine because this is too big for it, so we'll use the drill press instead. Okay, we're going to cut this on the drill press. I've got a 3/8 inch bit that's going in, and assuming you haven't used the drill press before, you can hand tighten the chuck here, and there's a key on the side that's stored right there. It goes into there and you turn it and it locks it in really snug. Right, so that's our setup. Now as far as how deep it goes, that can be set here. So by adjusting these I can go deeper, or I don't have to go as deep, right? And these can screw down, or you can push the button to adjust them. Now knowing how deep a dowel is, I'm going to grab a dowel and I want to go about, that's where I'm drilling. I'm going to go about half the depth. I'm just going to make a mark and I bring that bit down to my line and then I set the stops. Boom, now I can't go any deeper. And that's perfect height. Okay, the other thing I have to worry about is how to hold on to it. It's too small, right? I'm breaking 5 for 5. So what I do is use a hand screw clamp, and you find them right there. And I'm just going to adjust this clamp. Excellent. Right? Just like that. Now I'm ready to make my cut. Now here's the pieces. I can take those dowel centers out. I'm just going to put them back in the box. They tend to get lost really easy, so let's keep them in their box. And I have a few dowels here. Just like that. That's going to get glued together. Let's try it with another one and put it under clamps and see what it looks like. I've got both ends done now for my upper left. That goes in just like that, and that goes in just like that. And I'll put a clamp on them. Excellent. That'll be that piece. The same thing will go on the other side and down below, also for the legs. We're not ready to glue this yet, by the way. I want to take care of the other joints coming to here, and I've got to do some sanding before I glue anything together. Let's talk about where this joint goes. I'm going to look at my plan. And the distance here between the post and that apron is 1 3/4 of an inch. So let's mark it on here. I'm going to come in 1 3/4. Draw a line down square. This is where that's going to go, right there. This joint is going to get a screw put into it and then a plug over the top of it. So to make this easy, I'm going to draw another line in the center of that board. So this is 3/4, so I'm going to go 3/8. I'll draw another line, and then I'm going to come in and drill a hole out through this way. Then I'll drill a countersink in that way, cut my square plugs, and then I'll drill it together. So come in 3/8. And I want to come in 1/2 inch. Now I'm going to go, whoops, did it on the wrong one. 1/2 inch there, 1/2 inch there. I'm going to drill the hole this way through, and then I'll do a countersink that way. Notice I'm drilling off the table here so I don't drill into the table. Remember, we've got to leave about 1/8 of an inch of a shoulder on there for the plug to sit into. A little bit deeper. Now we can either put a round plug or a square plug in. I like square plugs. Oops, sorry. And I'm just making sure that this is in the right spot. Put that there for my next punch. Excellent. Okay, so now I'll be able to attach this, put a screw in there, and then put a plug on it, and it'll look great. Okay, so that takes care of these two parts, that joint, the one on the other side also.